Hello and welcome to the Musical Instrument Investigator. Today we're on the website of auction portal Drouot, based in France. We're going to have a look at an auction by Millon Auctions, also based in France. This is an auction house that usually does some things involving musical instruments, and this particular sale is Luthier's Tools and Musical Instruments Part 1, which is finishing on November the 25th. It's the 18th today, so a few days left to go. It has been a while since I did a video. I've been super busy. I did miss a few sales, so I do apologise. Going to try and do a few more now if I can, but it is a bit difficult for me at the moment. But as usual, for anyone that hasn't seen this channel before, we're just going to look at musical instrument auctions and related sales and just blitz through it quickly to see if there's anything interesting. Now, this is a French auction, so bear that in mind if you're looking to buy anything from abroad. Looks like the buyer's premium is about 33% on this auction, so whatever the final hammer price is, you need to add 33% onto that. Check all the terms and conditions, shipping, etc. before you bid, so you know what you're getting yourself into. If you do enjoy these videos, please consider subscribing, like, comment, turn on notifications, etc. All of that stuff, which really does help. Anyway, without further ado, I think let's crack on and see what we have. So a lot of tools here. So we've got some general kind of planes and things for violin making, Herdim planes there, so potentially kind of German. I'm never actually sure if these Herdim planes are made in Germany or if they're kind of imported from China, but not quite sure. But a few of these different curved sole planes, flat planes, etc. We've got Lee Nielsen Robot plane there, some other kind of spoke shave, another Lee Nielsen planes there, all really good kind of quality planes. So if you're interested in kind of being a luthier woodworker, these are some pretty good American planes here. It's kind of low angle planes here, block planes, some other, that looks like a scraper plane I think there, so that's pretty cool. Some smaller planes here which says made in USA, interesting. Clifton spoke shave there. See another Lee Nielsen plane, so yeah, some good kind of stuff in here. More kind of shoulder planes, etc. Some other smaller, these Ibex planes I think were quite popular, so that I think will do quite well if you're interested in luthier stuff. More Lee Nielsen things here. We won't get into it too much, but definitely some good stuff here. More stuff, lots of gouges as well. File, it's kind of a good make. Some more Herdim stuff, more gouges, a whole load of violin makers kind of stuff here. Some more gouges here, quite large ones there. More tools, some chisels there as well. Spatulas, interesting. Very large kind of plane there, kind of jointing planes or so. A few more bits and tools and things, sharpening stones. So basically a whole load of tools here have been imported. Loads of clamps as well. So it looks like this was probably some kind of workshop dealer's closure sale, because there's lots of tools here and lots of kind of repeated things. Obviously if you are a luthier or a carpenter or something, you probably want to look at this stuff in more detail, but we're just kind of taking a general overview here. Some precision tools, straight edges, etc. All this kind of fun stuff. Double bass clamps there, more kind of cello clamps, bending irons. So yeah, definitely looks like some kind of workshop closeout. Some Tormex grinders, swivel bench vices, other vices here. Restoration kind of tables there for violins, violas, etc. Kind of knives and things, yeah, literally everything you could think of. There's some bits and pieces here, tail pieces, pegs, and then there's some audio generators if you want to check your plate frequencies. A whole load of books as well, so there might be some interesting stuff in here. Let's see, so lots of these kind of Strad type posters as well, a whole load of bridges. So maybe, yeah, it's a kind of combination between a workshop dealer and maybe a kind of restoration repair workshop here. A whole load of fingerboards and spruce blocks, etc. So some fairly interesting bits. So on to the third page here. Bits and some glue as well, pigment stuff. Some wood as well for making. So fairly interesting, especially if you're in France, you might be interested in a lot of this stuff that is coming up for auction. Some violin sets there, exotic wood there, load of ebony, more ebony blocks here, soundpost material as well, so full thing here, whole box full of bows, so this is getting a bit more interesting for us. So a little bit of a load of bows inside a violin case, so that could be interesting. Estimates 150 to 200 euros, 60 euros starting bid. Violin bows, not a great deal of information in this so far. A few more bows there. Some double bass bows here, 50 to 80 on that. You can see the different images here. Some more bows there, nothing too crazy, but you should be able to zoom in and see. Okay, some more interesting looking bows here. If we can zoom in a little bit and see what's going on here. Some interesting wood choice there. 30 to 40 euros, the estimate on that. More bows here. A lot of this looks like kind of imported stuff from Asia, I would think, but could be wrong. But it's kind of interesting. Perloid kind of frog. Looks like kind of imitation tortoiseshell probably. But in general looks like a lot of imported stuff. Right, here's a whole load of Baroque bows. Those look definitely like kind of Chinese made bows, I would think. Same, all of these bows I think are imported, but you know, probably get yourself a cheap deal. I'm sure some of them are probably not too bad. More bows here. Oh, that's an interesting looking frog on that bow. That's a curious looking cello bow there. So look at that. Wow, that is really odd. Not sure how I feel about that. That is slightly strange. Yeah, a whole load of new bows there. All interesting designs. So I think we can kind of skip through a lot of this. This said it all looks like kind of imported new stock, as it were. Cello bows there as well, so definitely quite a lot of stuff. I think there's also some instruments in here, so I wonder if these look like older kind of German bows there, so worth having a look at the different lots. There might be some stuff which is more interesting than others. A single bow there. Right, some instruments here. Modern viola. There's a big crack at the back of that headstock there. 403 length of back. Collection of a Belgian private individual. Okay. I do suspect this is a kind of shop thing or something like that. I'm just going to zoom out a bit so we can see the dimensions on that straight away. So I think a lot of this stuff is going to be imported Chinese violins. Modern viola antique copy. Labelled Rowan Arnold Brown. Okay, 395. Be interesting to see what that label actually says. Another one looking very similar. P. de Velde, Brussels. Suspect a lot of this is just imported. That's an interesting looking violin there. Sorry, viola even. So I think a lot of this is just almost brand new, I think. Same here. And another viola there. Quite some nice wood on some of these. It's I'm pretty sure that all of these probably come from China. 380 on that. Could obviously be wrong. More violas there. Some nice interesting wood though in the back there. So I think we need to look at this too much. But if you want to pick up some bits and pieces for your shop, this might be a good auction to pick up some instruments on the cheap. Right, quarter size miracle cello there, so there's something a bit older. German cello there. Nothing too crazy so far. Half size miracle cello. Definitely a bit of an odd sale. Right, French miracle violin, 19th century there. Nothing too crazy. 3/4 miracle cello. I'm hoping that we might find something a little bit more interesting in the sale. 7/8 cello there, modern copy. Studio Artistico Cremona. Kind of interesting scroll on that. See if we can look a bit more. Looks like it has some kind of potential. Modern cello there. I'm sure that is most likely from China. The modern cello here with a Max Millon, Roger Max Millon label. Once again, I think origins of these probably fairly similar. Another one here. But might be half decent instruments here. Another cello. Well, yeah, it just looks like a general kind of some kind of dealer or workshop stock. Kind of majority of it imported. More cellos here, but it is interesting to see this stuff on occasion. The majority of it looks fairly well made. French miracle violin, 20th century. Fairly low grade. Another one there, so nothing too crazy. 3/4 miracle, actually fairly interesting piece of wood for the back on that one. 20 to 30 is all pretty low estimates, which is fair enough. Half size miracle there. More kind of miracle stuff. It's all fairly generic. But maybe there might be some better stuff here. German violin, kind of Steiner type ones. JTL violin there, 3 to 400. So we're looking a little bit nicer kind of trade violins there, so some opportunities for sure. German violin, 20th century. '18th or 19th century German violin. So have a look there. Fairly interesting back. Another French violin there. French miracle violin with a Marty label. More kind of generic violins. 19th century German. Kind of miracle JTL. 3/4 size French violin. The case and bow. Most of it's all fairly low tier. It's one of these kind of German kind of craft carved violins. Another one of these German ones with the decoration in the back. French miracle, the Le Marquis de l'Air d'Oiseau, as you see quite a lot. Central European violin with a Montignana label. Fairly standard stuff. More miracle stuff here, so sale is fairly generic. 7/8 violin. But you never know, there might be something interesting, so we keep going. Another miracle violin there. It's a little bit nicer than some. The German violin. The German one with these double purfling kind of Magini models. Another miracle violin. More German stuff here. Another German violin, slightly tiny bit more interesting than some of the others we've seen. Another German violin. It's all fairly generic. Okay, violin with an illegible label, 353. This is a little bit more interesting. Okay, that's kind of a little bit more interesting than the other stuff we've seen here. 2 to 300 on this. Quite a nice back. Kind of difficult to make out exactly what it is, but that is definitely a bit more interesting than the other stuff that we've seen. Could be misleading, but yeah, that's kind of fairly nice, that one. 371, I think that is interesting. Any more information? No, not so much. But yeah, okay, so one at least fairly interesting looking violin. Miracle violin here, slightly better looking as well, 150 to 200. Another miracle violin. I think there's about 450 lots in this auction, so a few things left to go. 3/4 French. Another German violin, so it's all very kind of tradey stuff. That's kind of a slightly older French violin in a bit of a state. Or 3/4 there. Slightly better Miracle violin. Gives us some hope for some better things in this auction. Or 3/4. German stuff there. Central Europe, I think can skip past that. French 7/8. The French violin. More Miracle half-size French. Now the French is all fairly generic, so I think we can move past that. Another French violin. 3/4. Ooh, fairly standard 20th century French violin with a Colomazat label. It actually looks like an okay violin. Late 19th century violin there. French violin, 300 to 400 euros. Needs a bit of work, but that looks kind of okay. A German violin there. Fairly generic German. 3/4 French. Another 3/4. A whole load of different random stuff, so we might be getting out of the violins and into some, I think there's some other things in this auction. No, we're back into violins. Another 3/4 Miracle. German violin. Another French violin. Okay, violin, a modern quinton with 5 strings, okay. 30 to 40 euros of that. So maybe that's also an imported one. Let's get these modern copies. Pretty sure all of this stuff is kind of imported. Maybe even that other one that I liked earlier is and was just kind of made to look a bit more interesting than the others. Quite possible, but this all seems fairly kind of generic imported violins. Definitely that one looks like the kind of the Song brand or something similar to that. I don't think there's anything too exciting about any of these, in all honesty. This is all imported stuff. Let's see if there's anything else. I think there might be a few other instruments floating about towards the end of this auction that aren't violins. There's one in the white there. This definitely looks like the Song brand, some of that stuff. More of a Guarneri model here. I mean, something like that is inoffensive if you can buy it quite cheap, probably good for a student or something. Here we've got some of these kind of mock baroque kind of stuff, or whatever you want to call them. It's just all fairly generic imported stuff. Another mock baroque, another one of these kind of quintons. If this was someone's collection, it's kind of a bit odd. Actually, what was that last one here? Looks slightly more different, but yeah, all this, it does literally look like a collection of violins from the Song brand that you can buy on eBay. Maybe it's like a distributor or something in France. That's it. Exactly kind of what this all looks like. I'm not sure how much more of this there is. A modern copy of Magini. Okay, that's interesting. People are still churning out these Magini's. Varnish is a bit funny, but kind of the back looks a bit curious on that one. More of these modern violins. Chance to probably get something fairly cheap, I would think. Don't know how long this is actually going to go on for, because this is getting a little bit repetitive, seeing this stuff again. Oh, hang on, I think we've changed, we've moved away now. Double bass without label. That is interesting. There's some funny things going on there with the scroll for sure. Trying to work out kind of if that is actually old or not. I think it is to some degree. Guitar there of some kind. Another guitar, nothing too crazy. That's kind of harmony guitar. That's fairly interesting. Another E Elka guitar there. Miracle guitar. Some kind of banjo where the image is not loading. A couple of mandolins and a banjo mandolin thing there. Gramophone. That's definitely a little bit far away. Accordion. A couple of more accordions here. A little mute keyboard, that's quite cute. Trombone, that's quite random. Alto saxophone. Some little wind instruments. Harmonicas, where there's no picture. Some accessories. Little case there. Another gramophone, and it looks like some violins. A Neapolitan mandolin, but nothing too crazy. Right, a hurdy-gurdy of viola. Actually, let's go back to that one. Okay, hurdy-gurdy made by Marcel Soing. Okay, interesting. Some cases. Oh, I think that was it. Okay. Well, there you go. That has been the kind of Luthier's tools and musical instruments sale from Millon auctions. Probably not the greatest sale that I've seen, to be quite honest, but worth having a look. Especially some of the tools look kind of half interesting if they are kind of genuine. So check out the catalogue if you have a chance. I shall put a link to the description, or a link in the description, in fact, and check it out and see what you think. So, yeah, an interesting catalogue for sure. See if we can get back to the main catalogue. Yeah, so check it out. Finishing on November the 25th. See what you think, and any comments or questions, let me know. Just thought it would be interesting to have a look at what is for sale here. Thanks a lot for watching, really appreciate it, and I'll catch you next time. Bye.